Aaron McLaughlin here. Just had a session with a Zoom actually. Do most of my work through Zoom, and this was a session on anxiety, hence the drawing on the whiteboard. All about the structure of how anxiety works, how it's a future-based structure, and we were talking about different ways of alleviating the influence of anxiety, which is really an extreme version of caution, which has become habituated. And that's what it does, and that's what the mind does really well. If something keeps happening over and over, it becomes a pattern and becomes a habit, and a heightened degree of caution, anxiety as we call it, can become a pattern entrenched and very easily triggered by very real or perceived events that are coming up in the future. And what I wanted to talk about was actually something that can help. And it's these two things here. When I first learned NLP, which was back in 1995, 96, my teacher called it talk to the hand. There's Ernest Rossi, who's a medical doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, a surgeon, all sorts of different things like that. He's written numerous books. Look him up, Ernest Rossi. He's developed a process which he calls the triple NE process, which is novelty, numinosum, neurogenesis events. Anyway, fundamentally, let's get straight down to it. It's all too much talk otherwise. So what we do is we talk to the hand. So choose the hand which is your strongest. For me, it's my right hand, and which would suggest that I'm going to use my left hand as the weak side, or the problem side, so it might be anxiety. Let's go with anxiety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk to my hand. Anxiety, that's how we start. And then we say, well, I feel anxious today about, I don't know what about, I just feel anxious, and I can feel it in my stomach. I can feel it in my chest, my breathing changes, and I hate it. I hate it so much, and I've had this anxiety for weeks and weeks. It's driving me mad. So this is what we're doing. We're talking to the hand, and we're putting all of this stuff about this problem into the hand. Now, this just seems weird. Don't do this publicly, because someone will ring up someone, and next minute they're sticking you in, a one-piece suit. Anyway, long and short of it. So, talk to the hand. Now, what I want you to do is, as you're talking to the hand, I want you to stop every now and then, and I want you to get a sense of what does it feel like in that hand. Now, this is even weirder, because what your hand will start doing is tingling, or feeling cool, or feeling warm, or feeling heavy, or feeling light, or feeling just something. And you'll notice this. Now, if you're not noticing it, you need to talk more. Now, it could be that the anxiety actually has some other emotions attached to it. So, I'm feeling anxiety. Man, I'm really pissed off about this anxiety. I'm really feeling, there's all sorts of words you could use. Really angry. I'm feeling so angry. I feel out of control. I feel like I can't even go out in public, because, I can just imagine myself just freaking out. Oh my God. Because remember, anxiety is about the future. And generally what we do at a subconscious level is we imagine the worst case scenario happening in that future event. That's how anxiety works, fundamentally. And it's usually based on having been in situations historically where shit hit the fan, or we feel bad, or something bad happened, or whatever. And here's the unconscious mind is just trying to protect us. So as we look out into the future, it's looking for things that might actually feel the same or affect us the same way as that shitty thing in the past. Kind of normal, kind of a good thing, Kind of like if you just walked up to a road and just crossed it without looking, it doesn't work. So it's the extreme degree of caution gone patterned into a habitual triggered response, which is, I'm not safe, I'm going to die. And that's a fundamental. In this reptilian brain, right in the middle of the brain, is it live or die? So we've got that. We're weighing this down. We're kind of getting a sense of what this. Now we want to do is like, well, in the past, I have overcome so many things. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, I've overcome, bad sleeps. Once upon a time, I didn't know how to walk, and now I can. Once upon a time, I didn't. Now, you might have some other extreme versions of amazing things you've overcome. Now, it doesn't have to be relating to anxiety. It can be relating to, I got a degree. I mean, for some people, that's massive. I've written 5 books. Wow, So all of these things are very valid, structural, useful states of mind and body that are creative, that are useful, that are strength, that are all these different things. You might even have memories relating to them. Put them into that hand and start getting a sense what that feels like in that hand. Some people even get kind of mental images of something sitting in that hand that relates to these positive attributes. Similarly, something might be sitting in, someone had a big pile of dog poos sitting in that hand. It was quite heavy and sticky, a little bit warm, which was quite gross. Anyway, crazy shit happens. It's your head. So, the next thing is, once you've got a sense of how this feels, close your eyes, turn the palms, don't move them together, just turn the palms. And what you're going to notice, watch this video as we just do this slightly, until you notice that there is some kind of energy that seems to be playing around in between these two. Now, some people say, oh, it's kind of like a furry ball. Some people say it's like two opposing magnets, whatever. Whatever works. No rules. Now, get a sense of that and then just relax your hands and just let it happen. Now, what's going to happen is a number of things. But whatever happens, you're going to get a sense that it's done. There's no rules. But what we generally talk about in this process is that there's some conflict between these two parts, because these two parts have forgotten that they're part of a greater whole, the greater whole being you. Anxiety is nothing more than caution at the extreme. It's using a very useful strategy, but it's gotten out of place. Ultimately, it has the same intentions as all the intentions and all the thoughts you lay out into your right hand. It wants what's best for you, but it's forgotten and it's entrapped itself in a pattern response, a triggered response. That's how it works. So your hands are going to do this, and then they're going to slowly just come together on their own, or one might just go, oh, I've had a guts full, or the other one might just stay there for a little bit longer, might go to your heart, but just let it happen. Generally, the hands want to come together because this represents the kind of coming together of opposing parts into a higher level of resolution. Now, we don't know what that might be. And it might not play out straight away. It might take weeks, might take days, hours, minutes. But just hold your hands together. They come together, hold your hands together, and get a sense, is there a new image that comes to mind? Is there a phrase? Is there a statement? Is there a mental image of yourself that comes to mind that reflects this change? Or is there a sensation in your body that might reflect that? Keep your hands together, just rest them in your lap and just relax for a few moments. Now that's the process. Now, as I said, there's no rules. Excuse the sun, end of the day, beautiful Christchurch evening. Cold out there though. So there's no rules to this. So just play with this, but it's so powerful because if you do the reading into it, which you can, is one of Ernest Rossi's books is Everyday Consciousness. I think it's called that. I have to look it up. I can put that in the link. But fundamentally, it talks about epigenetics. It talks about when we do this process and we just take our time and we really notice the sensations, we're actually tapping into an epigenetic process at the cellular level. Now that's where we want this stuff to happen. This is where we want the changes to occur. And this is where magic happens. So have a go. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you don't like it, don't let me know. If you really like it, tell me, share. If you've got questions, blah, blah, blah. Thanks very much.